Hey everybody, it's Margaret. Welcome to my channel, Homeschool Honey. Hang on, I'm fixing my chat thing on the side here. I'm not sure if anybody's gonna come hang out live, but I figured I'd have it ready in case you do. I wanted to come on today live and just talk about what we've been up to for the last few weeks and put it out that I'm going to try to be live or at least do videos a little more often, if for no other reason than to just document this time that we're living in and what we've been doing and how we've been holding up and everything. And so yeah, hello. If you are new here or new to the homeschooling world, whether by choice or by force, my name is Margaret. I am a homeschooling mom in Texas that I've been homeschooling, it's been about a little over 2 years now. I was a public school teacher for 14 years before that. And yeah, so I thought I'd come on and talk a little bit about what we've been doing, just my thoughts and how we've been handling everything. And just maybe to give you guys some support or just to feel like, hello, there's other people out there in the world that are surviving. And hi, Christine in the chat. Thanks for being here. Yeah, so I wrote notes because if you know me, I will get off topic and I will just start floundering around. So first I wanted to talk about just some of the things we've been learning or doing as far as school stuff, because it hasn't been a lot. The first week or so, we were on spring break. We took our spring break, and then the week after spring break was really, it kind of hit all in that, started getting more and more serious right in that time frame. And so the week after spring break, we basically did nothing as well. And it was just us wrapping our minds around, wrapping our brains around what was going on in the world, and me trying to figure out how everything was going to go with, at that point, because my kids do a lot of therapy and stuff. So some of the therapists were saying we're still going to have in-office sessions, and some of the classes that the kids took were saying, we're still going to have class. And so all of that was like kind of up in the air. Things were falling through on other things. And then finally now it's like, of course, we're not going anywhere. But there were so many mixed messages out there that we didn't really know what direction things were going in. So it was kind of hard to make a plan going forward. So in a way, I'm kind of glad now that it is the way it is, where everybody's home. I know I touched my face. I'll wash my hands when I'm done. But yeah, it just kind of makes me feel a little better knowing, okay, nobody is expecting us to be anywhere. Nobody is waiting for us to be. Everybody knows we're all on the same page, I think, at this point. So that's kind of nice. So some of the things that we've been talking about at home is just history about how this is an historic time in our lives. And earlier on, this was early on in the self-isolating thing, before it was mandated, we went to the grocery store, and we haven't been again, but we went to the grocery store and, we just talked about what we were seeing. We talked about the kind of shortages that we were seeing there and why certain, what were possibly the reasons that people were choosing to stock up on certain items. So it was kind of interesting. And then we talked about how, even during wartime, there wasn't a lot of history. Christine saying, is Texas mandated now too? I am almost positive. I think the governor's been kind of hesitating as far as telling the whole state to do it. But city by city they have, and county by county. So I know the governor's been weighing in as far as school closures and things like that, and saying that schools need to be closed until, I think he said May 4th at this point. But if kids go back to public school at this, I'll eat my hat. I don't think it's going to happen as far as that goes. But yeah, the county by county and city by city, it's been just getting more shut down. Like Pflugerville is a town that's nearby. They've shut down public parks. They've shut down all kinds of things. But the city I'm in nearby, like public parks are still open. They're asking, like, don't use the playground equipment, but the trails are still open, that kind of thing. But I believe in Pflugerville, they don't even want people going into the parks at all. So that kind of makes it hard, I think, for some people to get out and walk. It's weird. It's just the time is so, and then the things people choose to, I don't want to get political, but the things people choose to criticize others about, and the things you see online is just, anyway. So the kids and I have been talking about that. We got so last week my sister ended up coming and self-quarantining with us. What we were planning on doing, she lives in Kerrville, out kind of in the middle of nowhere. And so she was coming here with her son, who is in public school. He's in first grade. And so we were planning on homeschooling together and just doing things, really hands-on. We were going to focus on doing space stuff. And so when they came, she and I made a plan of the kinds of things we want to be doing. And the plan is that, she's going to go back home for a week or so, and just kind of back and forth a little bit. So we're all just staying in our small, family group, and not, she doesn't have a job outside the home, neither do I. So it makes it a lot easier for that. So we're not, we can still get a little bit of change, but it's just us. We're not mixing. We're not mixing with the others. Christine says our schools are close to the end of the school year here. MI is Michigan, right? But I always mix up the M's. You've been on stay-at-home orders for 2 weeks or so now. Yeah, I think it's been about 2 weeks here as well, but it feels like longer. So while my sister was here, we really tackled the garden, getting the spring garden going, and we started talking a bit about the victory gardens during wartime. Our dad was born in London. My granny was a war bride, so she married an American GI during the war times, and he was born there before they moved here. So we talked a bit about that and how things were during wartime. We'll probably do a little bit more of that. Talk about how there was rationing back then, and what would be the benefits of us having rationing now, because there are people going. Some of the stores, like H-E-B here, they've been doing, limiting how much people can buy, but I don't think all stores have been doing that. So talking about, why is there a benefit to having a limit, on what people can buy? And, would the country, I think it would take a lot for us to go back to rationing. It would be a big deal. I don't know that it would go that route as far as this, but anyway, it was interesting to talk about the victory gardens that they, had in England, especially. And so we started really building up our garden to get ready for the summer. And just in case there are, shortages of fresh, we're okay. We got rice, we got beans, we're used to rice and beans and cornbread, easy peasy, but my thing is I want to make sure we've got fresh fruits and vegetables, and while I don't have any fruit trees in my yard yet, well, I have a baby peach. There's no peaches on it, but I want to make sure that we can get some vegetables started and going so that we'll have that. If for whatever reason there's some shortage, I don't foresee that being a problem, but it's something also to keep the kids feeling like they're being self-sufficient. We're taking care of our needs, that kind of thing. Misfit Homemaker says, Texas here, Houston, we have a stay-at-home order except for essential activities. Yeah, here too. And it's interesting I just saw somebody on a neighborhood page posting, or maybe it was a city page, criticizing a daycare for being open. And people had to point out, well, essential workers, police, firefighters, people that are working at the grocery stores, people that are doctors, they have to, their children have to be somewhere. So that's been, that was an interesting, I think it's just perspective, taking a step back and realizing the perspective. So Christine says, I work at Aldi and notice limits on things to help stay in stock. Yeah, that's good. Usually I've acted toilet paper. Yeah. And the last time we went to the store, actually I went by myself while who was here? Somebody had to be here with the kids. Maybe it was Mom. No, my sister was. Maybe it was my brother was here a few weeks before all the shutdown happened. But I went to the grocery store to see if I could get a few things. There was no toilet paper, but there were police, and they were limiting how many people could go into the store at a time. So you had to line up outside the store and go in that way. So, as far as homeschooling stuff, we've just in the last couple of days started picking up our school subjects again. And in Texas, it's different in every state. In Texas, we have to do reading, math, grammar, spelling, and good citizenship. And while we always do more than that, I've just been reintroducing some of those, the 3 R's basically: reading, writing, grammar, math, and then home skills. So because we're so condensed into our home now and not getting out as much, we're really taking more time, pardon me, to do things like, my son needed to fix his bike. The bike seat was broken, so we got a new bike seat, and he was able to learn how to fix his bike seat, and just things like that. And another big thing that we've been doing, both just our immediate family and then when my sister and nephew came, is and as parents, it's easy to just have that knee-jerk reaction when kids start bickering or when things don't start getting done correctly, and especially when everybody's just cooped up. But taking that opportunity as a parent to make it a teaching moment, to take a step back out of your I'm saying this out of personal experience, that when I feel my blood pressure going up when they start in on each other, just taking a step back and thinking, take a deep breath. And this can be a learning experience. Can be a learning moment moving forward, because now we get to learn about regulating ourselves, learn about when we start feeling agitated or irritated, or what we can do to take a break from the people around us if we're feeling that way. And so we've had this conversation twice in the last 2, maybe 3 days, where it was a knockdown drag out fight that both kids, I told them, look, you're both in the wrong here. You both could have you both could have made a different choice and said it's not worth it and taken a step back, taken a walk. So instead of me getting mad and just you go to your room and you go to your room and then everybody's upset, taking that time to say, okay, what could have you done to make this not happen? Okay, what could have you done to not make? Okay, we're going to all take a break from each other. We're going to think about, how we could have all done something a little bit differently, like in the big grand scheme of things. Who cares whose backpack it was? One of the fights was about, it was my backpack, and they was trying to put my backpack away, and I wanted to put my backpack away. And I was like, seriously? Okay. But it's those little fires that it's really something else probably built up, agitation. And so just taking time to say, notice yourself, notice when you're starting to feel that way, and step outside for a minute, or separate yourself, or do something that calms you down. So we've been doing a lot of that type of talks, I'm feeling irritated. I'm feeling, taking stock of our own self. Okay, so and then as far as public school stuff, my sister they're still schooling, sort of. And I've heard this from a number of my public school friends, that they're supposed to be going online and checking on these assignments, and some of them they can't even get on the site. The sites are crashing, and it's very frustrating. Another friend of mine who's got 3 kids is just and then expected to work from home and do hours of school on top of that. It's just not, I feel like it's not realistic, so for example, we do even before all of this, we probably did 3, maybe 4 hours of school a day, maybe. And one of my kids is in junior high, the other's in 4th grade. But even that, is a stretch. 4 hours is a stretch, honestly, because we have a chunk of things that we do together. that they need that they're doing with me. And then there are things that they do independently. And then I try to do something, whether we're taking a walk together or we've got some kind of science project we're doing together, cooking. I mean, to me, that all counts. So I think, I don't even know, especially when they're little, when they're younger, it would be so hard if you're having to work from home and try to take care of hours of school. It doesn't make sense. So my sister couldn't get on. She just flat out could not get onto the site. And she got a phone call from the school this morning or yesterday morning and saying, you haven't gotten on and signed him in yet. And she was like, I can't get on. What do you want me to do? So I think everybody just needs to take a chill pill, as far as poor public school kids, And so I have a note here saying, public schooling at home. I think you've probably seen the memes about it. Like isolation schooling is not the same as homeschooling. We do so much stuff outside the home. We do so much with other homeschooling families. We're not technically any co-ops. My son goes to a one-day kind of enrichment school once a week. We had a science class we would go to. We had a what do you call it? Wilderness school we went to once a month. Just things like that, like all the time. We had a once a week park day with friends. So there was always something going on, right? Let's see. Christine said, my son's school gave us nothing for schooling, but with you working 2 jobs and reselling, you're kind of okay with it. Yeah, they're going to be okay. And I saw some news report or something that said that kids are going to be a full year behind because of these like last few months of school that they're, please. Misfit Homemaker said, I've wondered how people are doing that, just being thrown into it. We're thrown off on our schedule for a week just from the shock. Yeah, just from us too. Like we had that, we were planning on spring break and not schooling. And then the whole week after spring break, we were just like, okay, now what? Right? Even though, and people are like, oh, you're homeschoolers, you're used to it. No, I'm not. I'm still like, our whole schedule has been thrown off. So, I mean, we would have maybe 2 full days at home where we would do like hardcore schooling and be home all day for that. But Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays, we usually were coming and going all day, like here, there, and everywhere. But we still, I don't know. So the other night, this is part of that like regulating ourselves type of deal. We sat down because you can read your kids, My son was just like, he's usually so happy-go-lucky, and he was just like, his face even looked sad and worried, and I don't want to say typical guy, but he's just like, what's going on? I don't know. They just can't express it, or he can't anyway. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on, And so I said, let's make a schedule. So we sat down, and even though we normally have a schedule, like I said, okay, we'll get up, breakfast, chill in the morning, because we're not a hit the ground running kind of family. Get up, chill, eat our breakfast, and then plan for like an hour walk or outside time, riding bike, something just to get, some fresh air, just to get ourselves moving, and then come back. And then I chunk like that 9 to 12 time for school work. That means like we're going to be in the school room and we're going to be schooling or something. But yeah, getting most of the chunk of our stuff done. Noon to like 1 is lunch and kind of another little downtime. And then we did this before because I work from home. I'm self-employed. So from after lunchtime, we do 30 minutes of silent reading, 30 minutes of quiet time, because everybody in the house needs like a break from each other, just to regroup, just to kind of process the day. So that's a good hour. And then they have their 1 hour of video game time that they can play. So that gives me a 2-hour chunk of time to come in here. This is my workroom, and get, work done because I resell. I have a whole other channel, Christine knows, called Texas Gal Treasures, where I talk about how I make money doing this and be able to homeschool. So then after that, it's like, okay, then it's close to 3 or something. We have some more like outside time. Then it's let's make dinner, let's play a game or something. get ready for bed, read a book. And by the way, speaking of that, off topic, we started reading Percy Jackson, the first one, and the book vanished. Like, we have turned this house upside down trying to find it, because I have 5 of the books. We started the first one. We always read in my bedroom. So, and the last book we finished reading is still sitting on my nightstand. We read the first chapter of Percy Jackson, and now the book has completely vanished. Like, we haven't gone anywhere, but we have turned this house upside down, and we cannot find this book. We're getting up close and personal with our ghost, I think. Our ghost is like, what are you doing home so much? I'm going to show you. Get out of here. I'm going to throw your book. I don't know if there's a ghost or not, but we're anyway. So, no. Hang on one second. Okay. So, yeah, I'm going to try to get on a little bit more and talk about, like I said at the beginning, a little bit more about what we've been doing every day, a little bit more, maybe some, isn't this fun? Here's the thing. There are trolls in the dungeon, but I'm old hat at this, so I know how to handle it. Sorry if I had to pause to take care of it. But, yeah. So I'll probably be coming on, whether live or whether pre-recorded, to talk about what we've been doing as a, I know, right, Christine? She says, well, we got questions from the trolls. Yeah, I know, whatever. They're bored too. Everybody's at home bored. Let them have it. They can have their fun too, whatever. Yeah, so, and then I'd like to do some videos just like I've done before, where these are the activities we're doing, like a dedicated video about here's this activity. So I'll probably get this question, like for grammar, we do daily grams, and I like that a lot because it hits probably not every, but it has a section for punctuation, a section for capitalization, a section for, and so it hits all of these different areas and sentence combining. And so each day they get that practice, and each day, like parts of speech, things like that. So whether, yeah, they're back. Okay, y'all keep switching channels on me. That's no problem. Yeah, so whether they can hit all of the different sections of grammar. So that's something that we do for grammar. I could talk more about how we use, I might have done this already, how we use Google Voice and how I do grammar with that. I like doing that a lot, and it's free. So I can, if I haven't done a video already, I think I will, so I can show you what we do because it's free. And your kids will probably enjoy it more than just like writing and editing and all of this. And then for reading, we were using All About Reading. And if you are new to homeschooling, or your kid is dyslexic or a little behind, it worked really well up until last year. I actually have the next book for my son, and I just decided I can't do it anymore. I can't handle it anymore. It was slow paced, maybe a little too slow. And the stories were not amazing. But when we first started homeschooling, I loved it because it was kind of where my kids needed to be. It had a whole phonics component, and then the story for the next chapter would tie into that phonics component. So that part was really good, and it's really super scripted. So if you're not comfortable with what to say, what to do, what ties in where, it really is very scripted for that. But now what I do is because I thrift, and oh, thanks so much. I'll leave that comment. Have fun. Go troll somebody that you can get a rise out of them. That's the whole point, right? So the books that I do now, because I go thrifting a lot, I will find chapter books that I think, I've heard of that are good, and I'll get 2 copies of them when I see them out at like Savers and stuff like that. And so now, like, I think we're going to start Tales of a Fourth Grade Nothing. And then both my kids can read that because they're not on the same reading level, but honestly, once your kids get old enough, who cares? Like, nobody's asking, like, Christine, is that book on your reading level? I don't think you should be reading that yet. Or, that's above your reading level. I don't think. So once they get to a certain point, one of my kids is in 4th grade, the other's in 6th grade. So I think we're okay. And then you can start having fun with it. You can create, this is a way to make money too. You can create activities for the book that you're doing and put it up on Teacher Pay Teacher. Or, I don't know, it's just a little more fun. Or if you don't want to create stuff, you can go to Teachers Pay Teachers and you can download activities for most books. So I've done that. We did the book Odd and the Frost Giants. We were doing a whole Viking thing. And so we did that. So yeah, now that's just kind of what I do. And we've switched around a little bit so like I'll pick the chapter book, and then maybe for the next 2 weeks, I'll let the kids pick their own book that they want to do. One of my kids likes Diary of the Wimpy Kid. And so basically I just have to come up with some questions or things as they're reading to go along. It's not always paper pencil. It doesn't have to be. If they do something fun, like they're having a snowball fight in the, book, then, find some snow activity. We don't have snow here, but something that, hey, okay, we can do that. Mom's making bread in the book. Okay, let's make bread, some tie-in with it just to make it kind of fun. So yeah, I mean, and even just verbal questions as they're going is good. Connections with other books, connections with other characters, how was this like this? Anyway, so that's what we do now for that. And as far as we don't really do a spelling list, like a traditional spelling list anymore, because it didn't work for us. So the Google Docs that we do, that really tackles a lot of our spelling. I try to do more like real world spelling. Christine says, I'd love to see some of the activity videos. Oh yeah, absolutely. So I will do that. I'm trying to think if there was anything else I was going to talk about. Math, the one thing we do for math, we do, what's it called? Math UC. And we started off with Math UC. And initially I thought it was just because it's worksheet based, you can do activities with it, hands-on activities. But we pulled away from it and started doing, what was that one called? It was online. Oh gosh, what was it? I can't remember what it was called. It was an online math, and the kids didn't like it. It was so fast. I liked it because it spiraled, so they would see some of the same things over and over again, but it was so fast paced, and it didn't give them time to sit and slowly practice stuff. And even the music that played with some of the activities was like almost, anxiety building, hurry, hurry, hurry. And they asked to go back to Math UC. And so I like that. I like the Math UC, and it gives a lot of practice. So you could move through it very quickly. And sometimes if they get their first couple of pages 100% correct, I just say, okay, here's the test, go for it. And then we move on to the next chapter. So that's been really good. That's mainly what we've been doing. And then sciencey kits. My son got ooze labs for Christmas. So it's like a oozy lab thing. I don't know. And yeah. And then we try to do, I say art, but I just say we organized our schoolroom so all of our supplies were where the kids could reach it. And they just get in there and they make stuff. They just go crazy with the crafts and the paper and the tape and the whatever. And I just let them go for it. So it's a mess. It is. If you don't like a mess, well, yeah, so that's what we do. Okay, I will be back. I want to try to check in and just kind of give a heads up, where everybody's at, where we're at. And if questions pop up, I need to go through. I'm woefully behind on the comment sections on this channel. So I really need to come through and read comments and see how everybody's doing. And yeah, so I hope you guys are doing well. we're going to hang in there. We're going to get through this. They just put an order in that we're home until May, end of May. No, not May, April. So all of April. So yeah. Well, maybe I'll do a walkthrough of my garden and I can show you what we planted. That'd be fun. So, all right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was just sort of rambly, but I'll probably do a little bit of the rambly style like this, just talking, and then some more specific. Here's an activity we're doing. Okay, have a great day, you guys. And if you're interested, I have a channel called Texas Gal Treasures, and I'll be over there later. I'm going to record a video in just a second for that channel. So, talking about how we're making money through all of this craziness. And I'll talk to you soon. Have a really good rest of your day. Bye, everybody.